Thank you for tuning in to the MD Arsenal podcast. We are live on Facebook and YouTube from 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern Time every Tuesday morning. Please tune in now to ask questions and interact with us live. Hosted by Mike, Caroline, and Dudley, and brought to you by MD Arsenal, located at 19828 National Pike in Hagerstown, Maryland, your premier firearms retail store, indoor shooting range, and trading facility. Maryland Arsenal is your newest premier gun range. Located conveniently off I-70 in Hagerstown, Maryland, with a 7-lane, state-of-the-art, fully automated targeting system.
Definitely not
right there, bullseye. Offering retail firearms, hunting, tactical gear, and more. Our 40-student training center will be offering classes and certifications. Contact us today, info@mdarsenal.com, or visit us on the web at mdarsenal.com.
Welcome everyone to our first premier podcast for MD Arsenal. My name is Mike Faith. I'm the general manager. That's the rumor anyway. The rumor is that I'm in charge. That's kind of what I've been hearing through the grapevine.
I think that's accurate.
So I'm the general manager for MD Arsenal. We're located at 19828 National Pike in Hagerstown, Maryland. It's the site of the former Hendershots facility. So we're going to have indoor shooting range, training facility, retail. We have about 11,000 square feet, so we got a lot of space there. So we're have a few things coming up that Dudley will talk about here in a moment. Like I mentioned, I'm the general manager. Just a little bit about my background in the firearms industry. I've been kind of a gun guy recent, so probably since about 2010. So one of the interesting things about me is I lived in Utah for 10 years and didn't own a gun, right?
What?
And it's just like, one of the most pro-gun states in the union didn't have a firearm. So when I moved back here, I'm originally from Hancock, got into guns, started working for a small, shop, worked my way through, been kind of in the industry ever since. So whenever January this year.
So the gun shop you worked at is what got you into the industry?
Yeah, well, I had a friend that I went to church with, and we were good buddies. And I was working in the printing industry at the time, and needed a few more hours, a few extra bucks. And so he said, "Hey, why don't you come work for me?" And so I went working part time, just doing odd jobs. Then he says, "Hey, why don't you? I'm going to get ready to move and open a new building in Hagerstown. Why don't you come on full time?" I said, "What do you want me to do?" He says, "Well, you can be my marketing director." I'm like, "All right, well, that sounds really cool. It's a great title," but I had no idea what I was doing. So he said, "That's all right. We'll figure it out." So we figured it out. And,
nice.
Dudley showed up on the scene here this year and hired me. So, I'll pray.
On the scene.
We should all pray for him for that. But
we
so
are all praying for me, actually.
so I have a marketing background, a business background, education wise, and firearms. I'm a trainer, and I've done all kinds of cool stuff in the gun industry. It's been a fun ride. So that's kind of my background, and we're here with Caroline with Medina Media, and Dudley, the owner and president of MD Arsenal. So tell us a little bit about your background. And
we're not going this way. We're just
well, we can go out of order. But she wasn't looking at me. You were maintaining direct eye contact. So I felt a little pressure there.
Okay, all right.
And the camera is over here.
Right.
You guys
So
feel like talking to the people out there.
Right.
All right.
And also, if anybody has questions, and Matt Murphy's watching right now. What's up, Matt? Good morning. If you guys are following us on Facebook Live, you can go in here. Feel free to ask Mike any personal questions.
Right.
He'll answer them.
He's an open
This
book.
is going to
for
be
sure.
kind of like a truth or dare type scenario.
Right.
And if you do, have questions, feel free. I'm monitoring it on here. So.
Okay. So, like Mike said, my name is Dudley. I am the owner of Maryland Arsenal, and we just we took over December 11th, actually, which was my daughter's birthday. It was kind of kind of
happy
interesting.
birthday.
Yeah.
Here's the gun story.
Right.
Yeah, she owns a gun store, whether she knows whether she likes it or not.
Whether she knows it or not, yeah.
Right. Oh no, she knows. I don't know if she likes it, but she definitely knows. So, so I'm a former Marine. I was a Marine Presidential Guard in the Marine Corps for 4 years. After that, I went to Fleet Marine Force, Alpha Company 1-6 down in Camp Lejeune, did some stuff overseas. got out, came back to DC, and I became a defense contractor. So did a lot of different things for the Department of Defense. I still own a computer consulting company for the Department of Defense. So that's sort of my main gig, but I've always had a passion for firearms. I wasn't a huge firearm person growing up, but in the Marine Corps, I kind of got that bug, that itch, and it just sort of has permeated me from then on, and so I've been kind of...
It's a hobby, just like anything else. It gets expensive after a while, doesn't it? It can be.
It definitely gets
Right.
expensive, right? So I've been looking for ways, and originally we wanted to open a place in DC because I live in DC, and DC has a shall issue concealed carry license, but they do not have a place to shoot, to purchase firearms, or to purchase ammunition. So we wanted to kind of help that, but coronavirus sort of shut all that down. So we came across this location in Hagerstown, thanks to the NSSF, National Shooting Sports Foundation, and they sort of reached out to us, mentioned it to us, and sort of we found it. We came up here, we loved it, we loved the area. Everybody here has been so great, and they are really looking forward to the range being open again, and so we're really looking forward to seeing everybody really soon.
So with the range, we're going to have like open, people can come in, they can shoot, but
Yes.
also we're going to have leagues and stuff too. And we have our Maryland Arsenal Challenge going on right now.
Yes, we do.
So
We do.
lots of excuses to come in and check out the range, even, just come and see what we're doing in there if you've never been there before. And also right now we got a bunch of people talking on the chat. Good morning, Billy, Lynn. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Carla says, congrats, Dudley.
Thank you.
Thanks. Matt Murphy says, thanks for your service.
You're
And Billy
welcome.
says, come on, Dudley, once a Marine, always a Marine.
That's
Hoorah,
right, yeah.
hoorah.
Yes,
Marine
Semper
veteran.
Fi.
Semper Fi, do or die. That's right,
Right.
always.
So, well, I'm super proud to be here with you guys, and thanks for
Thanks.
bringing me in on this adventure.
Absolutely.
I'm Caroline with Medina Media Productions. I do video production, and I kind of twisted these guys' arm into
That's right.
getting on here.
No, only my arm needs to be twisted.
Step
Mike
out
is
of your
all
comfort
in.
zone a little bit,
This is
right?
way out of my comfort zone.
But you guys, this is going to be fun, all right? We're going to
Right.
have fun. We're going to
Yeah, it's
talk
gonna be
about
good.
guns. We're going to talk about all the stuff going on at the new facility. Our grand opening is coming up here in just a few days, right?
Yeah, we love talking about guns, so
Yeah.
and we're all in when we talk about guns. So
Well,
So,
I think
yeah.
it's interesting. You mentioned about D.C., the District of Columbia shall issue. So most people probably don't understand what that means.
Right.
Or
I have
even
no
gun
idea.
people don't know,
Yeah.
didn't realize that. So what it means, and essentially you have two different, for wear and carry or concealed carry permits, they're regulated on the state level, okay? So you have shall issue and may issue states. So Maryland is a may issue state, which simply means that if you meet all the criteria in Maryland, pass a background check, they may issue a permit, they may not. It's up to their discretion. So it makes it very difficult for people in Maryland to get a concealed carry permit. I mean, really, we can go into detail on that later on, but essentially you have to have what they consider a good and substantial reason, which for most people that means you own a business, you make bank deposits on behalf of the business. I mean,
Right.
short of that, you'd have to have things like documented threats against your person, which is difficult to do. DC is shall issue, which means that if you meet their qualifications, you meet their requirements, and you pass a background check, they shall issue a permit. So, in the irony that is Maryland, it is easier to get a concealed carry permit in DC than it is in the state of Maryland, even as a Maryland resident.
Right.
So it's easier for me
Really?
as a Maryland resident to get a DC concealed carry permit than it is to get a Maryland. Now
I
it's
would have
not.
thought it's like totally the opposite.
opposite,
yeah,
right.
you would think that, and we have been for a
capital.
long time, but not anymore.
And how we got
Really?
there, in DC is quite interesting because at first they had all these requirements to own a gun. You know, there was a license to own a gun, to have it in your house, and restrictions on where you could take it. And you had to keep it locked, and all these things. And so there was a lawsuit. I'm I'm kind of doing this from memory, so I may not have all the details correct, but there was a lawsuit, and the court struck it down and said you can't do that, and you can't restrict people from carry permits. And so instead of taking it to the next level, the District of Columbia just said, well, we're not going to fight anymore.
Yep.
Because they were afraid it would go to the Supreme Court and they get an unfavorable ruling,
Right.
right? And so if you get an unfavorable ruling
sets
on
the
the Supreme
precedent for the
Court,
country. Yep.
that's the precedent for the entire country. So
Right.
they basically just gave up the fight because they were afraid they were going to lose. And
Right.
once they
Yep.
lost, it would be established law,
Right.
essentially. So,
Wow.
Maryland, I mean, so in Maryland, if you're a business owner, you can have a carry permit. And you think, well, I don't own a business. Well,
Right.
I mean, do you do services or work for other people and deal in cash or check? Because if you do, then it's not that much of a reach to go ahead and establish a business and get your carry permit. Of course, we do that at MD Arsenal. We help people through the process. I've trained hundreds and hundreds of people in wear and carry.
Yeah.
And I had one gentleman, the only person who didn't get their carry permit that I trained was one individual. And he said to me, I said, okay, so what is your good and substantial reason? He says, I said, do you own a business? He says, no. I said, what's your good and substantial reason? He says, well, I'm an American and I feel like I should be able to carry a gun. I said, I agree with you.
Agreed,
Right?
100%.
I said, but Maryland State Police isn't going to issue your permit. That's my opinion. And so he went through the training. He was denied, but he got excellent training.
Right.
So
Either way, you walk
so
away
you know,
with that. Yeah.
so at the Arsenal, we have experience guiding people through the process because it's a little bit more than just establishing a business and showing documentation.
So what's the first step? Like if you're a business owner and you're like, I want to get a concealed carry, they just contact you guys
The first
and figure
step
out
would
the
be to
schedule
contact
for
us,
classes.
and we're going to have a candid conversation about what your good and substantial is. Because if
Right.
I don't think it rises to the level it's going to withstand scrutiny by Maryland State Police, then I'm going to be very candid with you about that. Because I want to train people, but I want to be totally candid about
Right.
their chances. Ultimately, Dudley and I don't get to decide who gets the permit.
Agreed.
We decide who passes the training, but that would be the first thing. So, and we're available all the time for that. And I think, this kind of dovetails nicely with what we want to accomplish at MD Arsenal. Because if you're a gun owner or you a gun enthusiast, or maybe you're new to the market, right? Because we had 8 million new people jump in the market last
Yes,
year.
we did.
Brand new people. Now, these aren't
Yep.
people that bought a gun before and just waited 10 years. These are
Right.
people that are brand new.
Right.
So if you know anything of what's going on in the industry right now, it's very difficult to get guns and ammunition. So that's going to be, in my opinion,
Yep.
that won't change this year. But
No.
we are passionate, Dudley and I are passionate about education. We're passionate about training people.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to focus on: training, education, range time. So we're really going to focus on safe use and handling, understanding that no matter where you are on the spectrum of guns, because it's very politicized, it's very polarized, whether you're completely anti-gun or completely pro-gun, we could probably all agree that if you own a gun, that you should have training.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
So we want to fill that need. Like I said, 8 million new gun owners in the community now. Well, come on into the pool. You're
Yes,
welcome
please.
here.
Glad to have you.
You folks need training. I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive,
Right.
right? It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, but
Right.
there are too many people, in my experience, that will spend $500, $600, $700, $800 on a gun that they
Right.
rarely shoot
Yes.
and not spend any money on training.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the training is something you pay for. You get
Right.
it, and then you can refresh yourself and
Right.
add to it. But
Right.
you never lose the knowledge.
Right.
You can get rid of your gun, right? So,
Mr. Charles said, "Love to see Dudley guy getting in front of the camera."
that's right.
So again,
I totally agree with that.
way outside of my comfort
You
zone.
just
right?
smile.
This is really,
You're so
this
cute
is
on
really-
camera.
this is
All
really
right.
tough for me.
Barry
to be
said,
honest.
"Mikey knows me. I didn't realize he was a movie star."
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
right.
realize that either.
Well,
Wow.
I'm kind of a big deal.
He's gonna ask for your autograph, so just be ready for
Right.
that.
Yeah, I can do that.
And
No
he
charge.
did have a serious question.
Okay.
Is the MD HQL card required to shoot at the range?
That's an excellent question. It is
Yeah.
not. The Maryland HQL or handgun qualification license is only required to purchase or receive a transfer of a handgun. So you do not need that to come to MD Arsenal and rent one of our guns.
Right.
You don't need that to borrow a gun and come and shoot. You don't need that to bring your gun to the arsenal to shoot. So we'll be a membership-based range, and that sounds, some people get hung up on that, but all it means is that we have to have some way to keep track of who's watched the safety video, who's going through the safety orientation,
Right.
and sign the liability waiver, so we can keep track of all that stuff.
Right.
So it's membership-based, but there's a couple different ways you can do it. Okay, we're going to have a yearly fee. So people that shoot once a month or more, I think it's around, what did we decide, like around $300, Dudley,
Yes.
somewhere around that ballpark. You can pay one fee for an individual, and you can shoot every day we're open.
Yeah.
Okay, which is pretty cool. So if you shoot once a month or more, that's the most cost-effective way to do it.
Right.
So if you don't want to do like an official class, are you guys going to offer just like firearms like handling for the public, like classes
yeah.
on
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah,
safety?
definitely.
We're going to
We
definitely
had
offer that.
another person
Yeah.
ask about lessons for how to properly handle and maintain a gun. Like,
Right.
I brought my kids in last week and we had a blast, and you guys
Yeah.
taught them so much. I mean, they
we had
talked
fun.
about it for like the next
That's
2
awesome.
days. It's all they
Yeah.
talked about. When are we going to go back up there? Can we
Yeah.
go back up there? And
Yeah.
I even talked about all the different calibers of guns
Right.
he got to shoot. I mean, that was really cool. They learned a lot. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
good.
mean?
We had a good time.
Yeah.
Your kids are great. We love
So
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we're going to offer classes. I mean, I just want to say quickly that there will also be like a pay-as-you-go membership. So people that don't want to pay, they're going to shoot like less than once a month, let's say. You can pay $25 for your membership. Okay, first time in the range is free, and then each additional time you pay $20. And every time you come to the arsenal, it's unlimited, which means you rent a lane. It's unlimited. You can shoot for as long as you want. I mean, within reason.
Right.
During
As long as we're not super busy,
yeah,
right?
peak
So
times
right,
like
peak
Saturday
time.
at 1 o'clock. I may say to whoever that
Right.
listen, it's 45 minutes or a half hour right now,
Right,
and
right.
you can wait in line and come back and shoot again. But most times you're not going to encounter that, especially slower times, maybe during the week. We're not going to say after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you're done. You got to get out.
Right.
So, and then we'll also have a 3-day pass, and I can't remember what the price is off the top of my head, but it'll be really affordable. So this will be for folks that
You can go
are-
back and put it in the comments afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people that come in, like let's say you're visiting from out of town for the weekend for Thanksgiving and you want to come shoot, we want those people to have an opportunity to use the facility. So they come in and watch a safety video, and we'll sell them a 3-day pass, which means it's unlimited. They can shoot as much as they want during 3 consecutive days. And that'll be great for people that are visiting and don't want to have a membership.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
they're not coming back to Hagerstown for another year. So we'll have something available that's affordable for everyone, because we want people to be able to enjoy the facility,
Right.
come practice. Marksmanship is a perishable skill.
Yes, it is.
It's not like riding a bicycle. And it'll be affordable for everyone. And as
Right.
far as like the classes go, we're going to offer everything from the 4-hour Maryland HQL class,
Right.
8-hour basic pistol, 16-hour defensive pistol, Maryland wear and carry. We're offering instructor level courses. So
Right.
if you decide, hey, I'd like to explore being a handgun instructor, we can help you with that process. So we're going to offer all kinds of stuff.
We have gun cleaning classes. We're looking at a low light level
Low
class,
light, right?
and all kind of things. So it'll be good. So
And yeah, we talked about, we're working with another trainer now who we're going to do a tactical shotgun class, because people ask all the time,
Right.
what's the best gun for home defense?
Right.
Well, that's a complicated
That was
answer
kind
to
of my
that.
question earlier.
Right.
Like, what do you recommend?
Well, I mean, there are advantages to everything, Dudley. Wouldn't you agree?
agreed.
Like the advantage to a handgun is it's small,
Right.
it's portable, it's concealable. Okay.
Yep.
Now, I will say that it's underpowered compared to a rifle or a shotgun. Correct.
Right.
So,
And you have to be close range.
right, closer range. Correct.
Right.
Yeah. So a shotgun or a rifle, the advantages of those two things, more powerful. But then you got, okay, so what is your living situation? Are you out in the country with nobody within 2 miles? You don't have to worry about going through walls and hitting unintended objects or people, animals. But in close, like I live in town in Hancock, so a handgun is really suitable for my living condition, because I don't want to have to worry about over penetration if I have to use the gun in the house and going through and hitting a neighbor's house.
Right.
So, I mean, it really depends on what your situation is. There's really not a bad answer to that question.
I've got a couple more questions for you.
Great.
So, Josh says he can't wait to come out and shoot.
That's
great. So can we mention we're going to be almost 7 days a week now.
Okay.
So,
That's right. 7
so-
days a week.
Yep.
10 to 8 during the week, 10 to 7 on weekends.
Yep. Great.
Wow.
Yep.
And if Dudley's involved, S. Miller says they're on board.
All right. Great.
What are some reciprocity states for concealed carry with Maryland? That's one question.
None.
0.
0.
And,
Now
and,
I
the, and the same with Washington D.C.
Right. So,
0.
So
Okay.
your Maryland wear and carry permit is good in Maryland.
Yes.
Now, I have heard other professionals that I respect in the business say, well, other states will honor it. I would never bank on that. So in Maryland, you're kind of, I'm a Maryland resident. I get it.
Right.
You're kind of in a corner, because if you want to carry in Maryland, you got to get a Maryland permit. If you want reciprocity, you got to look at something like a Utah non-resident carry
Okay.
permit,
So-
which has 30 plus states.
Right. So there's a difference, though, right, between having reciprocity, as in I have a Maryland permit, other states honor it, and what we're talking about is Maryland doesn't honor anybody else's.
Okay.
Correct.
D.C. doesn't honor anybody else's. So if you want to carry concealed in Washington, D.C. or in the state of Maryland, then you need to have a Washington, D.C. or a Maryland
Permit.
permit.
Correct.
So it's kind of like how America is with visas. Like
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That is very similar. That's a very good example.
Okay, another question. Lynn is asking, she lives in PA. Can I legally transport my pistol to your range for training or practice?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah, great question. Go ahead, Mike.
So, and we get this question all the time, and listen, people are naturally confused about the gun laws
Yep.
in this country, because they are confusing and they vary from state to state. But yes, you can absolutely transport legally your firearm to Maryland to shoot at Maryland Arsenal, at MD Arsenal. What I recommend you do is the gun unloaded in a case or holster with the ammunition separate. Lock the gun up, and you're good to go. So under federal law, you can transport guns across state lines in that manner, okay?
Yep.
Maryland's a little stricter, but you're covered under federal law because you're crossing state lines, so that's you're covered. So there's absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. The other question we get lots of times is Maryland has a restriction on magazines, so they don't. It's a restriction on sale or transfer, not possession.
Yes.
So Maryland, at the arsenal, we can only sell you guns with a magazine capacity of 10 rounds or less. Okay. But as a Maryland resident, I can possess whatever I want. So I have lots of high cap magazines, but I purchased them out of state and brought them to Maryland. That's totally legal. So if you're a Pennsylvania resident and you have high capacity magazines in your handgun or your rifle, you can absolutely bring those to MD Arsenal to shoot. Totally legal. You just can't sell them or transfer them to anybody while you're in the state.
Okay.
So pretty simple.
Barry wants to know how many people are allowed in a lane at one time. Sometimes I teach friends who are new to shooters. Am I allowed to do that, basically?
Yes, absolutely. So we're probably going to, listen, we all have to, there are certain guidelines as far as COVID-19. So I totally get that. There's 7 lanes. The lanes are separated by barriers. So it's almost like 7 little cubicles. So we're allowed to do 2 people per lane.
Okay.
So, and you're not going to share a lane with somebody you don't know.
Right. So
that kind of limits people's vulnerability. But the other thing about the indoor shooting range at MD Arsenal, it's completely state of the art. It's top of the line. The filtration system in there is
I was gonna
massive.
say, it's like
It
running
cycles the air
constantly,
I think
right?
once every 60 seconds or less. So
Wow.
every 60 seconds or less, we have brand new air in that range. The air leaving the building is cleaner than the air coming off the street. I mean, the filtration system is massive. It looks like a small trailer. It's about that size, right?
Really, yeah.
And so if you were to catch any type of sickness in the range with that air moving that quick, you should buy a lottery ticket immediately because that's going to be a miracle. So
Mike, your dad wants to know if he can get a deal.
my dad,
Yeah.
no deals.
Outstanding.
No
Correct.
deal.
No deal.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah,
Sorry, the boss is here.
I love my dad and I love my family, but money is money.
Yeah.
So
Barry said some states that have constitutional carry only allow out-of-state people to carry if they have a CCW permit in their home state. So in fact, you need a Maryland CCW permit to carry in their state. Maine is one that comes to mind.
okay, that's a good point.
Yep,
That's
yep,
a good point.
yep.
Yeah, West Virginia is. I know Barry's terrific. He's a great customer. He Dudley, you've met him. You met Barry last week. But anyway, he lives in West Virginia. West Virginia is like a complete contrast to the state of Maryland. They have permitless carry or constitutional carry. So anyone who can legally possess a gun can open carry or concealed carry in West Virginia without a permit, even if you're not a resident.
Right.
So it's a complete contrast to Maryland. So there's really good there. Really
Yep.
good there. So
Crazy. So I think we should talk about the grand opening a little bit.
Oh, yeah, let's do
What's
that.
our
that's
next?
just one little thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the next
So-
few days looking like? for
So
us
Dudley
right
can
now?
kind of go over that a little bit.
Okay, so
Take a
yep.
deep breath.
Yeah, it's so the next few days are going to be kind of hectic. We're finishing up. We're getting ready for the grand opening, which is going to be Monday, the 15th. We're going to open normal hours, 10 to 8. We're going to have a lot of different events. We're going to do some door prizes, some raffles. We're going to have some competitions. We're going to let people shoot, just pretty much everything. And then I guess I can. So we also have a special visitor coming. So. A lot of people know Black Rambo. He's a friend of Maryland Arsenal and a friend of mine, so he will be at our grand opening. So he's a big social media influencer, great guy. He's coming out to help us kick everything off. Mike is super
I'm
excited.
so excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
Mike,
about that.
Mike is super excited about meeting Black Rambo. So, and he's a amazing person. He's a great guy, and like I said, he's got 846,000 followers or something on Instagram.
That's crazy.
He's a superstar. So
That's crazy.
he really doing us a big favor by coming out, helping us open out. So everybody come on out on Monday.
Planet Fitness will be there, right?
Planet Fitness will be there.
Fitness will be there giving out free passes, so you can go check out the gym. I
U.S.
think
Law
they're-
Shield will be there, I
US Law
believe.
Shield
We're going to have some vendors there, a local gentleman that does Cerakoting. So,
Yeah.
you can ask questions about getting a firearm Cerakoted, because that's where we're at right now, honestly, in the gun industry, is that you can't find a gun. Well, let's customize what you have.
Right,
so we
yeah.
can help you with that. We'll probably we'll have some food vendors there.
Yeah, we have some food vendors there. We're gonna do a lot of different things because we have a couple of things. I don't want to spoil all the surprises.
Right.
We got a couple of things going on that we want to keep happy. It's gonna be a great time. I know you guys are gonna be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. we're gonna draw live the winner of one of our like early bird door prizes for our virtual outdoor show that we're doing at the beginning of next month. So that'll be pretty fun. We're drawing a winner of like a 7-day vacation.
That's
so,
nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So.
Yes.
Lots of stuff going on. The
Yep.
grand opening. Our classes starting right now, or is there a schedule like on the website?
So if you go on our Facebook page right now, there's a few Facebook events for some upcoming classes. We're going to be running Maryland HQL. We're going to run NRA Basic Pistol. We're going to do Wear and Carry. We're going to do NRA Pistol Instructor courses.
We're going to do some Red Cross training, too. I'm going to get the Red Cross stuff. We're going to do Red Cross certification there as well. We're going to do some gun cleaning classes.
Like first aid and stuff like that?
Yeah, so first aid,
CPR?
first aid, CPR certified. So we're going to do some of those classes as well in there. So
The focus of the training calendar, we're going to have something for every skill level. So if you're brand new to guns, that's terrific. Come on in.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got some experience and some skill, if you're an advanced level shooter, or at least think you are, we've got classes for you as well.
There is some of that going around.
There is some of that going around, but we'll have some very capable instructors with a lot of real world experience and teaching credentials. So it's going to be a great experience. Like Dudley mentioned, the low light class. So that's a handgun class shooting in low light. So if you think about what happens in the real world, if you ever had to use your gun to protect yourself or your family, it's probably going to happen under cover of darkness, right? That's when bad people operate. So how do you acquire your sights when in a low light situation? Do you have the right kind of sights on your handgun that you can pick up that front sight in low light? What about flashlights? Do you need one of those? Should you have one? So we're going to go over all that.
I think everybody should have thermal.
Thermal?
Yeah.
Thermal on their handgun.
I'm sure all the hunters think that. The thermal is it for you guys.
Thermal will be good. Flashlights are a little bit cheaper, but and there might be some things that you don't think about. Like, okay, well, I understand night sights, but I have a 1200 lumen flashlight. Should I put that on my handgun?
Right.
I would probably say no, because you're going to get a lot of splashback. You're going to blind yourself.
Yeah. Right.
So not to give anything away, we have a really well qualified instructor who will teach that class and go over all those things. So we'll go over gear, and the people we're working with aren't like Paul in particular. He's not going to tell you had to go out and buy $800 worth of gear to take this class. Right. He's not about that. He's about, okay, what's in your budget? What can you afford? And how can we adapt that to your needs?
Right.
So that'll be a great class. I mean, it's going to be busy. There's going to be all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
What kind of firearms are we going to be carrying? Low end, high end, combination of everything?
So go ahead, Mike.
Paul wants to know.
That's a big thing. Right?
So that's a big thing. Right. So listen.
And hi, Jeff. Hi.
So we're going to be carrying. We're not going to carry a lot of high-end expensive stuff. We will carry a few things, but most of the stuff is going to be just their average, like in handguns, Glock, Smith & Wesson. Right. We're not going to carry HK or STI or Walther. We're going to carry everything. We'll carry a few high points, Rugers. We'll carry everything.
We're definitely carrying STI.
For every budget, right? We're going to carry affordable shotguns, home defense shotguns. We're going to carry affordable Maryland-compliant AR-15s. We'll carry a little bit of everything. So we won't be stocked just with high-end firearms that people around here maybe can't afford. So, I mean, I look for kind of the medium when I purchase things for myself. But we're going to carry, there's a company called Great Lakes, which makes a great Maryland-compliant AR-15. Right. They're very affordable. We'll also carry LWRC, maybe some Daniel Defense, some higher end. Whatever's Maryland compliant, we're going to carry as far as that goes. So we'll have something there for everybody. Right now in the gun industry, there's a lot of demand. So you have demand far outstripping supply. So prices are creeping up, but there is some gouging. Obviously, if you look around, if you buy ammunition, when 9mm ammo is $1 a round, you got a problem.
Right.
So we're not going to do that. We're going to, the prices are up a little bit because costs have gone up, but we're not going to take advantage of the situation because we really want people to trust us and respect us and come back when this all settles down, because this ain't going to last forever, right? I don't know how long it's going to last, but eventually things will calm down. And when that happens, I want people to come back and say, hey, thank you, treated me right when it was tough, so I'm back.
Right.
Barry wants you to say SIG.
SIG. SIG Sauer.
Definitely SIG.
We're
big SIG. We're big SIG fans.
Well, I have a SIG P320 compact, which I love that gun. And Dudley has a 365, P365. So those are great guns. So we'll have, listen, and my whole thing is, and listen, I'm kind of a gun snob. I'm going to admit that right now. But who am I to say that if your budget says I can only afford these two brands, who am I to say that you don't have a right to have that firearm to protect yourself and your family?
100%.
Because I could say I like my little things, whatever, and maybe I don't like this other stuff down here.
You don't want to say what those things are?
Well, I don't want to start throwing names
Just
out
fine.
there.
Okay,
and,
that's fine.
Little things.
But, I like certain brands. Maybe I don't like the brands that you like, but any gun to defend your family or yourself is better than no gun.
100%.
I'll tell you that. So that's where I'm at on the stocking. Hendershot's had a reputation of carrying expensive guns and only expensive guns. We're not going to do that.
Are we going to have a gunsmith in the store?
There'll be a gunsmith there. We hired
Yes.
one. He'll be actually in today.
Starting
His
today.
First day today. So, yeah, we'll
Awesome.
be offering gunsmithing. Now, we're not going to be offering.
Yeah, what kind of stuff does...
Well, we're going to start. We don't have the equipment really to do like mill out slides or thread barrels. Eventually,
Right.
maybe.
Right.
We have resources available to get that work done for people.
Yes.
But if someone needs to have a gas block changed on their AR-15 or wants to
Sights
put night
or-
sights on their handgun, we'll be able to do all that stuff.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Cool.
So,
Good to know. Billy says, heck yeah, Sig.
yes, I think that's right.
Carla says Ruger. Well, I mean, I have a couple other questions about that too. Like, so if somebody comes in and they don't know what kind of firearm they should, are they going to be able to shoot firearms right there off the shelf and try them out in the range? Is that also what the range is for? Like, if you want to purchase a firearm, can you actually shoot it before you buy it in the store?
Well, we're going to have some rental guns, and again, inventories are tight right now, so it'll take us a while to take us a few months to build that inventory up. But I think Dudley and I eventually like to end up where we have 150 rental guns.
Right.
So we'll have plenty of guns there that people can rent.
Okay.
You don't have to have a Maryland HQL to rent one of our guns and shoot it. You can try them out of the range, and that's actually an excellent way to decide what you want to buy.
Yeah.
Try out a few different guns. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will help people with selecting their first firearm. Because what we do is our approach is when you come in, you say, hey, I want to buy a firearm, I want to buy a handgun. Okay, what's your purpose? What's your application?
Right.
Are you going to carry the gun? Is it just for the bed stand? Are you
Right.
going to compete? Because that might be 3 different handguns.
Yes.
So what's your application? What's your purpose? What's your goal? And then we work from there. So,
Okay. Cool. Everybody likes the hats and the
right.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That-
you can
so-
get the
so-
swag will be up in the store.
The swag will
You
be
can
in the
get
store. We're gonna get it on the website soon. We got more hats coming, more sweatshirts. Everybody's on me about the sweatshirts. I promise you, sweatshirts are coming.
Right. We have really cool MD Arsenal masks.
We got our masks as well. Yeah, so
So-
we have a lot of swag coming. So you guys will definitely be able to get that at the store. Definitely at the grand opening. Come on out, get your swag. And then as we go along through the year, we're gonna have special events where if you wear your swag, you get to do certain things like
Right.
come on your swag, and then we'll you can get a free entry to a Maryland Arsenal Challenge, or you get a shoot some promo stuff or do something different. So we're gonna really do some stuff for the people that are supporters of the brand. So
Cool.
that's really important to us. So yeah.
So with the indoor range, Barry has another question. Are you strictly indoor 25-yard range, or are the long gun ranges also? Are there, I'm guessing, long gun ranges also?
Well, our range is 12 yards, 36 feet, 35 feet. It's 7 lanes, so it's a smaller range. We'll allow any handgun caliber and rifles up to 30 caliber. So rifles up to 308. The bullet trap is really durable. It's a rubber trap, and it's rated up to 50 BMG.
We will not be shooting
but
50 BMG.
We will not be shooting 50
We will
BMG in
not
the
be
range
shooting
because it's just so loud and the concussion is nasty. So, we're gonna have full auto machine gun rentals.
Yes, we
Okay?
will.
Eventually, we'll have
Looking
those.
forward to
Yeah,
that.
that'll be fun.
So we'll there may be we'll allow people to shoot the ARs in there. That's perfectly fine.
Yep.
We're going to try to accommodate everybody. But like I mentioned, really high caliber stuff. I've shot some high caliber stuff in there, like 416 Rigby and 460 Remington, and the noise is tough. The concussion is what gets you.
Yeah.
Because you're wearing ear protection, but it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So.
I'm definitely getting me a mini Gatling gun.
Right. Which is not a machine gun legally, so that's cool.
That's right.
Thanks, Joel. Joel's just saying how nice we are, especially the cute blonde in the middle. No, he didn't say that.
Right, yeah. Well, Right.
He said these are great people right here, care about doing the right thing, taking care of people, look forward to watching their success.
Thanks.
This type of
Appreciate
business
that.
has been long overdue for the area.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes, definitely.
There it is.
Right. So, yeah. So I mean, it's really Dudley and I have talked about this a lot at length, but the gun community is just tremendous. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
The gun community is very unified. There's a lot of unifiers there, and people really want to help out.
Right.
We get people hitting us up on social media all the time. Hey, man, I'm a competitor. Or I'm this. I'm that.
Yeah.
What can I do to help you
Yeah,
guys?
and
it's
I think
awesome.
people don't realize that, right? So so there is I guess there's not as much diversity in the gun industry as as we would like, as a lot of people would like, or and it's a pretty well-known fact. But what is not well known is that how much if you're a gun person, they don't care. Gun people are gun people.
Or gun people.
Gun people do not. All they care about. You like guns? I like guns. Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're really, and they have really been welcoming. The area has been amazing. Everybody has come back, and they're. And as soon as we talk to somebody, it doesn't matter if you're on the phone, if you're talking on, what are you doing? I'm calling to get the utility turns on, and the guy's I was like, hey, Maryland Arsenal, we want to get the electric turn back on, and he was like, Arsenal, are you guys a gun store? I was like, yeah. He's like, you guys got any ammo? Can I come out and shoot? When are you guys gonna be open? I was like, you can't come out until we get the power back on. Can we take care of that first? Maybe let's start with the electricity, and then we can discuss you coming out to shoot. So people are really excited, and we're excited to bring it back to them and to get everybody in there, see the changes we've done. We made a little couple of changes, subtle changes. So we're excited about that, and we can't wait to get open so you guys can see it.
Yeah, I know everybody I talk to is real excited to just get in there. So what's going to be in there? What are they going to have? Yeah. I'm just
we really want to be a resource for the community. We're going to offer some free events.
Right. Yep.
We're talking about doing some active shooter security plan training for local churches. We're going to offer a lot of things to the community. I mean, we want to be a resource as far as Maryland law, firearm safety, safe use and handling. We really want to help people with that. And the nice thing about so let's say you sign up to take a class at MD Arsenal. I mean, you're taking the class indoors and you're shooting indoors.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was 26 degrees when I left Hancock this morning. So who wants to shoot out in the cold?
Right.
There is a value in training in all conditions, but
74 in the range.
It's 74 in the range.
All year round.
Right.
It's very nice.
When you're a brand new shooter, when you're probably got some anxiety, maybe you're a little nervous, you want to avoid. Our job at MD Arsenal is to eliminate as many distractions from you as possible, so you can focus on the fundamentals and be successful at what you're doing. So one of those is environmental. I mean, if we can give you a place to shoot where you're not having snow, wind, rain, cold temperatures, hot temperatures, then that helps you focus on fundamentals. So we have that.
Yeah,
so
and
awesome.
it was really nice. I have never been in a facility like that until I went in there, and I mean, even my kids, like I said, my kids were super comfortable just being there, hanging out. They don't want to leave. They're like, this is the best thing ever. So, yeah. I did want to ask about what we did the other day, the Maryland Arsenal Challenge.
The MD Arsenal Challenge,
yeah. So we posted a video about it.
Not happy about that, just so everyone knows.
There's two videos floating around. One that is just a short commercial that talks about the MD Arsenal Challenge.
Yes.
So you can come in, basically take the challenge, right? You have to shoot specific spots on the target.
Right.
And we're going to keep track of, who has the best time, who's the most accurate.
Right.
And these are the guys that you can ask questions. I don't know nothing. I'm just here to make sure they show up
mostly
on
that
time.
Guy.
Well.
And,
he's the boss.
Well,
I do the makeup before the show.
Right.
I forgot to
make sure nobody's shiny today.
Well, so what we take, Dudley and I take this very seriously because we understand that this is important. Owning a gun, using it safely, that's a huge responsibility.
Yes.
You have the right as an American to own a firearm. That's your right. The knowledge to use that gun safely and effectively doesn't come that way.
Right.
And so, listen, not to pick on anybody in particular, because we've all said this at some time or another, but if I ask you what your background is, what your experience is in firearms, and you say to me, well, I grew up around guns, I don't know what that means, because it doesn't come through osmosis. I mean, was the gun in the other room while you were growing up in the other room? Or does it mean that I went shooting with my dad, he took me hunting, I shot handguns, I shot rifles, I shot shotguns, because that's a different thing.
Right.
So I want people to take, we want people to take it seriously, right? And I will say this, that the 8 million people who jumped in the market last year, a lot of those people were either completely undecided about guns, didn't really care about them, or were anti-gun.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, because I was working in Frederick and Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, and the people buying guns, that's who they were.
Right. There weren't 8 million conservatives buying guns.
No, there weren't 8 million gun owners. Right. These were people who were brand new. And so those people, I will say that a lot of those folks are seeking out training, which 100%. Is important.
That's good though.
I think that's the approach you want to take.
Right.
So.
Paul wants to know, can we draw from a holster on the range?
Yes, absolutely.
Is
100
are there any restrictions on the rate of fire, et cetera, et cetera?
You know that's Paul. You know it's Paul.
Oh, this
That's
is Paul. So
this is
Paul. So Paul, yeah. So Paul, yeah.
There's restrictions for Paul.
There's
Paul will have
restrictions
to
for
be-
Paul.
yeah,
Paul
he-
has to go through. We have a 24-point draw stroke
Thank you,
that we're going to
yes.
make him go through. Okay.
Yes.
No, we're going to make it very simple for people. We're not going to charge you money to draw from the holster in the range. We're not going to make you take a class that we charge you money for. We're going to do a safety orientation,
Yes.
kind of holster draw orientation, making sure you're safe, and then absolutely 100% you can draw from the holster on the range.
Right.
No problem at all. We're going to make it easy. If you're renting a lane, then that's just going to come with the service.
Right.
So.
Except for Paul, we're not making it easy for
Right,
Paul.
he has I think it's a 30-point draw
I think
stroke
it
at
might
this
be a
point.
we'll
every
figure-
time
we'll figure it
he
out.
brings it up, we add a few more points
Yes.
to that. So, right.
Hi. Matt says hi. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. Yeah, so I mean, I think that we're pretty much ready for the grand opening.
I think we are.
Mentally, emotionally, physically.
Well, I don't know about those last couple. But we're ready.
so
but-
time and date, one more time. Time, we're gonna have the grand opening start.
So it's going to be September 15th, which is Monday's President's Day.
September-
It's February.
15th.
February. Sorry,
15th.
February 15th, President's Day,
Day after Valentine's Day.
day after Valentine's Day.
So if you messed up, you can always make it up
there
the
you go.
next day.
come on out.
Starting at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 8. It's going to be a regular business hours. Come out, have some food, have some fun, meet Black Rambo.
Right.
If Mike doesn't hog out all
Right,
the
right.
time,
Yeah, right.
then we can
Get autographs from Mike.
Exactly,
Please
Right.
come get autographs from Mike. Like
If I get him an autograph this weekend, it'll be the first one. I'll tell you that
You guys
right
are going to be
now,
given tours though of the facility,
Oh, yeah, we're
right?
definitely-
So if
oh,
you
yeah,
want to
thank you,
see the
Caroline.
whole,
Definitely.
you want to see the whole facility, come in.
Yep.
They can walk you around, show you everything, show you the range, show
Yep.
you the training class
We'll
room.
be there to talk about training, so anything that you guys want to talk about as far as what we're doing, and we have a lot of we have a big space, so we got a lot of things planned, a lot of good things planned for it. So different events, not just some non, I guess, gun related stuff as well. So we'll see as it kind of
Get your
as
swag, right?
Definitely get your swag, your Maryland
Right.
Arsenal swag. Come take the Maryland Arsenal Challenge. We want to. I'm really interested because I've been getting a lot of flack about that video, and so I
Right,
want
right,
to.
right.
I want some people to come out and.
See how hard it really is.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
It's pretty challenging.
Let me just say
Right.
this: I didn't even try it,
And I was-
like watching these guys who know what they're doing, and I was like,
Oh, I
yeah,
was
that looks
set
a
up.
lot
I
harder.
was set up. I
That
don't
looks a
feel
lot
like-
harder than I thought it was going to be.
Mike set me up, so I don't really want
I don't
to.
know about that.
I don't want to talk about it. So.
All right. Well, I think that, does anybody have any other questions?
Well, I just
or
wanted
anything?
to, listen, like I mentioned before, the gun laws in Maryland are very complicated and they vary from state to state when you go into different states. So we're going to be a resource for folks. We're going to answer a lot of questions, give them great information. Listen, we have worked with, I've worked with attorneys to get some of these answers, right?
Right.
So we're partnering with a company called U.S. Law Shield, which is a great resource for folks. So we're going to give people the correct information, right? Because that's what people worry about the most, right? So
Right.
that's what we're going to help people with.
Matt wants to know if you're going to carry a line of hunting products to add to the list.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
So we're gonna, Dudley and I are gun enthusiasts. We're not really hunters. Nothing against hunting, but we just.
Caroline's our hunting
But
expert.
Caroline's the hunting
She's,
resource, so she's
she's
going
our-
to point us in the right direction to keep us on the straight and narrow as far as that goes. So.
Yeah. When the time is right, we'll have it ready,
100%.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that was a great first podcast. Thanks everybody for
that was
coming, joining us. I think that if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out. We have, we'll go in here and put in the comments links to
Right.
the grand opening event page.
Yes.
Contact information will be in there for Mike and Dudley, myself. And, feel free to reach out, call anytime, and Mike's there.
So again, we're
basically.
located at 19828 National Pike in Hagerstown, Maryland. It's on I-70. It's exit 32A, first building on your left. Phone number is 240-707-6380. And you can shoot us an email, info@mdarsenal.com, or follow us on social media. Follow us on social media. We're going to be
Right.
sending a lot of information out there. You'll probably get it first if you follow us on social media.
Yeah,
definitely.
and I'm monitoring social media all the time too. So if these guys are busy in the store, we're there to answer questions and get you in touch with them online or get the next available person.
Right
So,
on.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thanks
thank
a
you.
lot.
That's great.
Thanks,
Good.
folks. Thanks for tuning in.
See you
Bye,
guys
guys.
later.
Thank you for tuning in to the MD Arsenal podcast. We are live on Facebook and YouTube from 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern Time every Tuesday morning. Please tune in now to ask questions and interact with us live. Hosted by Mike, Caroline, and Dudley, and brought to you by MD Arsenal, located at 19828 National Pike in Hagerstown, Maryland, your premier firearms retail store, indoor shooting range, and trading facility. Maryland Arsenal is your newest premier gun range. Located conveniently off I-70 in Hagerstown, Maryland, with a 7-lane, state-of-the-art, fully automated targeting system.
Definitely not safe.
Right there, bullseye. Offering retail firearms, hunting, tactical gear, and more. Our 40-student training center will be offering classes and certifications. Contact us today, info@mdarsenal.com, or visit us on the web at mdarsenal.com.
We'll see how it goes.